5 seconds for him to get going. So, welcome everyone. This is the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission, and it is November 15th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. To all persons deemed interested or affected by the Town of Barnstable Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission ordinance under Chapter 112, Article 3 of the Code of the Town of Barnstable, you are hereby notified that a hearing is being held at Town Hall, 367 Main Street, Hyannis, Mass. Selectmen's Conference Room, 2nd floor, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. This meeting of November 15th, 2023 is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with MGL Chapter 30A, Section 20, the Chair must inquire as to whether or not anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to please make their presence known. I take it that's a no. Okay, so I'm going to call to order. Commissioner Kevin Matthews.
Here.
Commissioner Cornelius Cowley.
Here.
Commissioner Hinckley Needham, not here. Commissioner Matt Clark.
Here.
Commissioner Laura Cronin.
Here.
Commissioner Tom Doherty.
Here.
Commissioner Jack Kay sent us notice it before they could not come. And I, Commissioner and Chair Cheryl Powell, am also here. So we do have a quorum, so we can proceed. So it's called to order. I also want to welcome one of our town council liaisons, Town Councilor Betty Lucky. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Can I also ask staff to introduce themselves, please?
Jim Cupfer, Planning and Development.
Karen Pina, Planning and Development.
Thank you very much. No updates on trainings, awards, but please make sure that you have done your conflict of interest trainings. We have no additional correspondence, right? Okay, so let's go on to new business. Sawyer Realty Holdings, LLC, 473 Main Street, Hyannis, map 308, parcel 084, with regard to exterior renovations and paint. We have two chairs here, if you're both coming up. However you're comfortable. But if I could ask you both to sign in, please. And if I could ask everyone to have their mics where they can be heard.
Sure. Actually, why don't you go first?
Devin Riley Marini, DJSA Architects.
And David Lawler, on behalf of the applicant, Sawyer. Devin's going to handle most of the presentation because as an architect, she's the artist, and I'm just a lawyer. But let me just give a brief synopsis of what's going on.
Yes, please.
This is an existing motel on Main Street that I think everybody is familiar with, the Hyannis Motel. It's on this actually, though the address is Main Street, it's really on the corner of South and High School. Mm-hmm. Across the way is a law office. Actually, I worked there for about 10 years. I'm very familiar with the building. And we're before this board today on what I would refer to as some minor changes. Obviously, everything before this board's important. What we're intending to do is to convert the existing motel units into housing units. And we've already obtained a special permit from the ZBA in that regard, which is just to take this and to convert this particular structure into a housing, which obviously we all know is a dire need here on Cape Cod and throughout the Commonwealth and the whole country for that matter. With respect to this application for this use, though it's going to be substantial construction internally, and they'll be taking these motel rooms and converting them into livable one-bedroom studio type units, and that will all be done in accordance with code and whatever. We are attempting to do very little to the outside. You will note, and I'll let Devin get into it in greater detail, that we're really here on, I would say, colors is the major issue or a major issue. There's also some siding that we're proposing to go over the structure. And then one other issue is that the rails, because the codes have changed, and for safety purposes, we want to take the rails and just raise them. We intend to use essentially the exact same rails. You know, they might be slightly different, but essentially, from an aesthetic standpoint, the same rails, but they have to be raised. And we're proposing to go forward with that, but I'll let Devin go through the colors and the siding issues.
Okay, all yours.
Yeah, you would.
Can everyone see okay?
This is the existing building E on the lot of 473 Main Street. As David stated, the exterior work being done is quite minimal. Everything will be going on inside the units. The doors are staying the same, windows are staying the same, and there will be no new openings being created in the building. And as far as the colors go and the material, the building itself is a stucco material here and here existing with some plank, clapboard, cedar, wood, or some sort of material at the top. And those materials are going to remain. The only thing that we're looking to do is paint them and give it a new, fresh update, because it is quite aged looking. So what I did was go through the new planning bylaws for the historical district and found the colors, and they said to look at Benjamin Moore, the Northeastern color palette. So we went through with Sawyer Realty and chose some basic colors that we thought would look good on this building. Zoom in. Oops. That.
And I did provide the chips.
Yes. We have one.
So the south elevation is the elevation that faces High School Street. It's the main elevation of the building. We're looking to put some wooden accent slats on the front of the building just to give it a little bit more of a updated look, not a completely changed look. Keep the overall aesthetic of the building, just make it a little fresher. The colors that we wanted to use are Benjamin Moore, and we're looking at the Evening Dove, which is a darker blue, and the Concord, which is a yellow. And then for the stucco, we're looking at the cover, which is not quite a white, but an off-white, and then the black trim. The railings currently are a metal railing, and they're only 2'11" high, which is not by code. They need to be at least 3'6" or 42 inches. And the spacing between the balusters is too wide. It needs to be a maximum of 4 inches. So we are looking to replace the railings, but in kind. So they look almost identical, but it will be new and updated to meet the current code.
So at the current,
Yeah.
the height that's required,
The
that's good.
Yeah, the height will be
Can
required.
scratch that question off.
The building requires that.
Yeah, so we're
Just wanna
bringing
make sure.
everything up to code. That includes some stair work as well, but again, we're keeping the aesthetic the same. They will look the same. They'll be black like they currently are. They're just going, all the necessary life safety upgrades will be done. So that is it for the colors. These are some existing photos of the building, so it does look quite tired. You know, it could use a nice refresh. That is that same view that I was showing. The stucco now is a tan, and I know that's not as common with Cape buildings, but we were just going to keep it as is since that's what it's been, and just give it a new refresh of paint.
color refresher paint?
More like an off-white. So the tan will be covered up by, it's called cloud cover.
Okay. And that's in the colors?
Yes, it's right up here. Right.
I just wanted to clarify that for the
Yep.
presentation.
And the plank will also be painted. Everything will be painted, so it'll look new, not newer, but like I said, refreshed.
It'll look definitely newer.
Definitely newer, but still historical. All the accents are wood, they're saying wood, they're just being repainted.
It's actually a better word, refresh it.
Yeah.
And it'll look clean, it'll be.
Yes,
And historical.
and historical. Yeah. So that's basically it for
Okay.
what's going on the outside.
So, Commissioners, do you have any questions on the presentation?
How many units are going to be in there?
20.
It's 20 motel units now, it's just gonna stay 20 units. They're just putting in some work to make them
What are
studios.
the rents going to
I'm
The
sorry,
rent-
go
the
ahead.
rents.
be on that?
The rents, I honestly don't know what the rents are gonna be exactly. Right now, one bedrooms, there will be an affordable component, there is an affordable component, the 10% to affordable units. One bedrooms now are usually what, around 1,800, I think. I'm not positive though. Don't quote me. I mean, that's a business decision of my clients. I get into the building structure. I don't get into the economics of it though. I do a lot of development here in the town. And, you know, new two-bedrooms are 2,800 to 3,200 usually. One-bedrooms are in the lower twos, two bedrooms. A bigger one-bedrooms with a studio are in the lower twos, and then the studios and whatnot. I do know my client is very conscious about trying to make things reasonable, but obviously wants to make a profit.
Will these be year-round leases?
Yes, yes. And I will say, because we will be before this board, at some point in time, the rest of the property, I never want to not be transparent. At some point in time, the rest of the property will have other proposals about a mixed-use, commercial, motel, apartments, but it's not before the board. But I don't ever want to have you think like I try to come in and sneak something under the table without being fully transparent. But that's all still in the works. And, we're not before the board. This went through ZBA. That would have to go through planning. But this is what we call building F on the property. There's a bunch of other buildings on the property. But this was fully approved and by the Zoning Board of Appeals for the use issue. And it's kind of a strange situation. The lot actually sits in two different zoning districts, so it was a little awkward. And and I know that this is a lot of the new zoning, this is consistent with that. Whatever, but it has been approved, and it was approved a while ago, so the appeal period's expired.
Commissioner Cronin?
Being done? Did you say?
Definitely.
The roof,
No.
is the roof being done? But the condition of the roof is
Yeah.
okay?
If it needs to be repaired during construction, of course it will be, but it seems to be in good condition as of right now.
Yeah, I walked the property, it's a relatively new roof. I do know the prior owner, because I was across the street for about 10 years. And there's obviously our client owns it now, there's an interim owner, but the owner that owned it for a long time, he was out there constantly. He treated this property beautifully. He was a wonderful guy. He was always out weeding and cleaning and painting and did a lot of the work himself. So the property itself has good bones. It's, it was well cared for a long time.
Yeah.
I give him a tremendous amount of credit. He was like I forget his name. He was a bald individual, but he really cared for the property, and a really nice guy.
The buildings are in great shape, but anything that needs to be repaired or patched during construction, of course it will be.
With like materials, though.
Yeah.
Commissioner Cronin, it looked like you had another question.
Yeah, what about lighting, additional lighting being proposed on there as well?
Right now, there are these small lights. we will be probably updating the lumens and, the lights themselves, but they're going to be replaced in kind.
In kind?
Yeah.
Additional outdoor lighting at all in that area?
As of right now, no.
Any other commissioners? Commissioner Matthews?
Just a real quick question. I know in the guidelines, believe it's in, if the commissioners can please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's more of a recommendation of horizontal cladding and stuff like that as opposed to vertical. Is there a reason why you want to do vertical versus horizontal?
So she has an interior designer, and that's what they were thinking about doing. But if there's something you'd rather, she's very flexible with those. It's more of an aesthetic thing, so if you want them horizontal, I can ask her about that.
I also think it, consistent with a lot of the guidelines in the town, breaks up the massing of the building nicely. I think that the visual effect from the other side of School Street and coming up South Street, that does break up the massing. It looks at it a little bit more
Yeah,
quaint
but,
and homey.
I mean, horizontal, vertical, it's,
I was just wondering why you chose one over the other, that's all.
yeah, I think they like the vertical on the stair towers because they were taller,
Sure,
so,
okay.
yeah.
I've always been told I need to wear vertical stripes.
We're not going to go there. That is not in our purview. So, all right. Any other commissioners with questions regarding the, Commissioner Cronin, you have another one?
Yeah, with the regard to what Kevin just said about the horizontal going on to the side, I think because it's on one end, it may look better to have that horizontal going all the way around. It gives more of a house or a home type of look. Could you have it on the top? I see it across the top.
Yes, that's what's existing
That's
at the
existing.
moment.
Right, that's horizontal, so if you could keep that horizontal, if you said it didn't really matter.
Oh, they're staying.
No, I think what
No.
she's
I'm
saying
thinking
is
on the
where the
other
other, is to
towers.
make it
Here.
consistent.
Have
Is that
them,
right?
have them horizontal down there on the other side.
Okay.
That way, all sides would have the horizontal.
Sure.
Because it's not, it's the same height, it's not going to
You're
change the
talking about
difference.
consistency.
Right,
Yeah.
yep, aesthetics.
So where these wooden horizontals on the stair towers, verticals, you're saying horizontal instead?
I would, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be just my suggestion.
Is that just on the towers or the whole building?
Well, I'm looking wherever you have the vertical change to horizontal, you have it in other areas as well.
So you want them,
That would just be my suggestion.
Yeah.
I must admit, when it comes to the towers, it makes sense in a way to have the vertical, simply because otherwise you're going to be breaking it up or having it long.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my opinion, but.
So right now, it's at the towers, and then it's at the doors.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know, to me, horizontal looks more, that looks too, I don't know, doesn't look cape.
But you only have the horizontal on the ends of the building, is that right?
Yep.
Not
That's
not anywhere else.
and,
No.
and those are pre-existing, that's not being, that's how it
Yes,
exists now.
it's existing
I
and
Not
understand.
being
added.
touched but for payment.
I understand, but I also understand what Commissioner Cronin is saying. She's trying to think of consistency with what was there.
Mhm.
But if it's not clashing,
Yeah, they're different materials,
Yeah.
different colors. This is more of a wooden, beachy material than,
same color, add difference in colors, did you say?
it would be a wood.
Okay.
Yeah, as it's shown.
All right. Does that answer your question?
So what is, I don't, yeah, that would be, my suggestion is to remove the vertical and have it horizontal.
We would agree with we would prefer to keep it the way it is,
But I'm
but
just one,
if the board.
I'm just one voice.
If the board decides that they want us to change the direction of the boards, we would agree to that, but we would like to keep it the way it is, from a standpoint of where the designer is. But we're not dying on that sword by any imagination.
Understood. Any other commissioners with questions? Nope. So I always leave mine till last. So, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to staff, if I may, please, Jim. And there's a few questions, if you wouldn't mind answering. One was, we have no say with regard to the internal. You were talking about you know, we have no say on the internal, in my opinion. You said there's, you know, little to the outside, but the big thing is on the internal, but we don't, in my opinion, have that. The other thing is with regard to our guidelines, is there anything that is inconsistent? It looks to me like everything's fine.
Yeah, the paint is fine. I do have a couple clarifying questions on the materials, but I can get to that after.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that everything complied and with regard to the internal, external. So just to clarify for the board, we have, although they were saying there's a lot of changes to the internal, we have no real say on the internal and what its use is for that, or in numbers or things like that. And Commissioner Crone, you brought up the lights. I would also ask, we might want to think about, do we want them to come back with this, or back to us with regard to lights? If they're identical, fine, but if you wanted to improve them, which
Oh, yes.
we would certainly enjoy, then if you wanted to come back to us. Then there's the horizontal versus the vertical. I personally have no problem with the vertical because it's a vertical structure, but it's for each person to decide. So, Jim, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, just two clarifying questions, if I may. Just so the wood cladding, is that's going to be natural? It's not composite? It's
IP.
Yeah, okay. And the railings, what material will those be?
Currently, they are cast iron.
Okay.
Will they remain cast iron?
That's the plan.
Okay.
Certainly metal.
And black, right?
Yes.
Black, metal black, yeah. I think
Okay.
metal.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to open it up for, any other commissioners have a question very quickly? So I'll open it up for public comment. And we're once again, I think I don't see anyone running through the door, but I'll leave it open until we do a motion. So commissioners, is there anything else you want to add before I turn it over? Town Councilor Lucky, yes, please.
It's Betty Ledke. Thank you. I'll do a public comment. I really chime in with what Laura's saying. I think the horizontal would be much better in keeping. I understand what you're saying. It freshens it, but maybe it freshens it too much. And you lose some of the, I think, the scale and the historic nature of it. I think it'd be nice to see some trim and the horizontal. I think I agree at the doorways and on the stair towers.
Any other staff? No? So, commissioners, what do you feel about it?
I had brought up my question was just, I'm wondering why, because, we don't require it to be horizontal, why they chose vertical. Their explanation makes sense. I mean, when you have a long piece of building, it kind of, I understand why you would do the vertical against the horizontal. I was just wondering what you thought. Other than that, I mean, I think that's fine. The colors all are in regulations. All of the fixtures seem to be in regulations, so I'm okay.
Any other commissioners with response, reaction? I must admit, Commissioner Matthews, that's the way I saw it as well. If you're going to have long vertical, yeah. But Commissioner Doherty, you look like you had something to say? No? Okay. Well, in that case, I will close public comment and ask if one of the commissioners would like to make a motion on the findings. But I would also, consider in your motion, the vertical, horizontal, coming back to us for lighting if it changes, anything like that. It's up to whoever makes the motion how they want to put that into words.
So, I mean, I know that I might, the only one that mentioned horizontal. Is there an opportunity for does anyone else in the commission have that thought as well? Or does it matter? I
personally agree with Commissioner Matthews. As I said, if it's a long thing, it kind of makes sense to be vertical.
Nobody
But,
else
you know,
mentioned.
that's
Councilor
just
Lucky did.
you know,
So I
my
just wanted to
feeling.
make sure that if
Any other commissioners?
No? Okay.
So is there a motion on the findings?
All right, I'll do it. I move that the commission find this application to be compatible with preservation and protection of the district. This is at the property on 473 Main Street in Hyannis. Again, bearing that all of the fixtures are all going to remain the same as they are now, that the color patterns are what they presented, and that it is okay to do the vertical cladding because of the length of the buildings.
Second.
Okay, so Commissioner Colley.
Oh,
Vote?
aye, yes.
Yeah, okay. Commissioner Cronin,
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty.
I'm just going to abstain.
I also say aye. If we can mark that Commissioner Doherty abstained. Okay, so is there a motion for the certificate of appropriateness, please?
I'll go once again. I move to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the application at 473 Main Street in Hyannis as described in the submitted materials. Again, with the assurance that all of the materials being used are going to be replacing what they are now, which are all compatible with our stipulations, and again, the vertical cladding is acceptable as well.
And to come back to us if there's any changing.
Correct, yes.
Yes. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Crowley. All right, Commissioner Doherty,
Abstain.
Commissioner Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews,
Aye.
Commissioner Cronin,
Aye.
Commissioner Crowley.
Aye.
I also say aye. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And I know you guys are all volunteers, and thank you for your time.
Yes.
Good presentation. Thank you. And we wish you luck with it. Nice to
We'll
see.
be back with the bigger one later, and like I said, no, but it's important to not, we did that with the ZBA, and it actually created a lot of questions, but, good questions, but it's, you never want someone to think you're trying to sneak one under the table,
Absolutely. And it's nice to see, people taking an interest in the town and trying to address certain things and needs and.
Well, this developer's
and, yeah.
fantastic.
And, to also, working with us, I think we have a reputation of trying to work with people. We try to. And we always welcome you before us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Okay, yes, it's same to you. All right. What? You had fun with that, didn't you? We'll give you a minute. So, I don't think we have any matters not reasonably anticipated, so the approval of the November 1st, 2023 minutes. Would somebody like to make a motion who has read them for the approval of those minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes as written for,
Second?
Second.
Commissioner Doherty?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
Commissioner Cronin?
aye.
Commissioner Crowley?
Abstain.
Okay, I do say aye. So that is that. Our next meeting is with the planning board. Now, remember, we've done this before. That is going to be November 27th at 7 PM. And that is, I thought that was by Zoom, is it not?
Yeah.
Oh, it is in
In
the
the big
hearing
room.
Okay, so
Aye.
just a note, that is going to be in the hearing room.
Yes.
So November 27th, 2023 at 7 PM. And actually, you had mentioned that to me, so thank you for clarifying again. And then we have December 6th and December 20th.
Just a question, a point of order on that meeting. What is that, how is that all going to go? What does it entail, Jim? Are we just going to all throw everything out there and?
We had it before, about
Yeah, it's
Jim.
gonna be a lot of fun.
Popcorn.
So ultimately it is, it's a shared meeting, so, this commission and the planning board will both have to open up their respective meetings. You all will be all on the upstairs large table with the chairs. And how I envision it is, so the draft is out, it's posted, we've sent it out to this commission, the board, and we're go page by page.
By page,
and
okay.
And see, as we go through, if there's topics that we want to further expand, or questions that we have, or things we need to remove, now's the time to do it, and as long as it takes, as long as it takes. And if we got to continue it to another meeting. You know, it's important to get it right and
Sure.
do it.
So, but basically, any decision made, majority rules out of the board, is that how it's going to go? or-
Well, so ultimately, both parties are going to have to render
Take it
their
back?
decisions.
Okay.
So we could do it, and we can discuss more at that meeting, and I could certainly speak with the chair before. But, you know, you certainly don't have to render that decision that night. You could take it all in, hear what the planning board has to say. hear
Okay.
what You guys have say, and then, you know, at, say, the December 6th meeting, you say, let's put it on the agenda for, or let's, one final discussion of just us, and then you guys both will have to decide, you know,
Okay.
where we go from there.
Gotcha.
And then
So as
after
Jim-
it's approved by us, then the planning board, then it goes to the town council.
Nope. So these are just guidelines. So these are in the ordinance. It states that you guys can modify from time to time through this process. You know, you are the controller of your guidelines. So you guys are appointed as the respective, you know, authority on this issue. So yes, these go.
But I'm assuming the guidelines will be the same for both boards, correct?
Well, so that's our intent here.
Yeah, okay.
That's our hope.
We
because
can't
right-
have two
right-
guidelines.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
far
so-
too much confusion.
Yeah.
So, you know, as of right now, tonight, you guys have two different guidelines. That's
know.
the whole reason for this.
Right.
The
Yes.
planning board operates on certain guidelines, and you guys operate on certain guidelines. And so we're trying to unify that because because jurisdictions overlap. We're talking about our neighborhoods here, and, you know, we're hoping to have a little bit more consistency.
So, but there is the possibility that we could come out of these meetings with two separate guidelines still.
Could, hopefully not, but you
okay.
could.
The goal here is to welcome. Please have a seat. The goal here is to unify the
Right,
guidelines
right.
so that they're consistent, so that we don't have this, what are the guidelines, what are they not? And you get this in any transition where you're trying to update and modify and, you know, bring it to where we need to have it. It worked out very well the last time we met, so we kind of work as two and one, because bottom line is, they're planning, we're historical, but we're also trying to serve the town uniformly and to try to come up with something that makes sense.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, but I would ask all the commissioners to make themselves fully versant, aware of what's in those guidelines, so that we come up with constructive comments and proposals. And if there's any questions, I'm sure that Jim wouldn't mind having a call for any clarifications on that.
Absolutely. Between now and the next meeting, everybody is welcome to stop by the office and sit down and go through any questions you may have.
Okay.
Certainly could do that, or Zoom if you need to.
I personally think it's a great thing.
One other note with that too, to the town council, while they don't have, they're not the reviewing authority, certainly can, out of this, come with a recommendation to present to the council to give them an update on this year-long process. I know, you know, many councilors have been following along, but maybe not all of them. So, you know, providing an update, I think, certainly is reasonable.
Always helpful. Anything else? So,
I just have a question
Yes,
on the
please.
December 20th. Is there, if there's nothing on the agenda, would anybody
can I
be
ask,
objective
do we have
into
anything on the December 20th
maybe not having
agenda?
that meeting?
I don't have anything as of yet.
Can we wait till December 6th to see if we have anything? Because I'd hate to see that we have 5 applicants for the
Yeah,
20th.
that's your 2-week
Yeah.
mass general law, yeah, so I would wait till the 6th.
Is that all right?
Oh, that would be fine. I just want to make sure
Okay.
we have a quorum if
Oh, I understand.
that's
Absolutely.
an issue.
I think we should bring
So-
some potluck dishes. Some food.
No. Maybe. What I'm going to do, if nobody has an objection, even though I've already moved on from matters not reasonably anticipated, it looks like we finally have this person who's rushed through the door from the general public, as long as it's not with regard to our applicant that was here tonight, which is now closed on that and accepted. I'm going to go back to matters not reasonably anticipated to see if there's something that Mr. Kirker wanted to say, and that's why you're here?
Yes.
Can we do that? Can we do that?
Right, so if it's in reference to 77 Pleasant, I think we should probably do, it's an existing decision.
Is that what it's with regard to? Okay, then in that case, I would like it on the agenda. I didn't know if it was with regard to something that was recently heard to say thank you or something else to ask till it goes on. But because it is something that's with regard to a previous application, with all due respect, can we put it on the December 6th agenda? So it's off the 26th. Sorry about that. I know you've come out in the dark.
I thought if it's okay, I could say what
I think,
I'm wondering about because it's,
can I get you to put just a brief thing in writing, and it will be sent to all the commissioners so that they know what it's about?
I think I already have that emailed, or what I emailed.
Oh, okay. But it's not on the agenda. So it was too late for the agenda. So let's put it on the agenda. So everybody should have that email, and if you don't, Karen will send it out again. It has to be in within a certain amount of time to go onto the agenda.
Mhm.
And for something, of that matter, we have
Well,
to.
it's not even that, it's a modification. In fact, it's not on the agenda.
That's right.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right. So you, Cheryl, you do have, there's an existing question about whether or not it needs to be a formal hearing or just a modification at a public meeting. And certainly I could speak with you
Yeah.
between now and the next meeting and work with Mr. Kirker on the appropriate measures to take.
Is that all right? Thank you. All right. So, and I'm sorry it came out tonight, but we're not. All right. So in that case, I'll take a motion for, is there anything else? Anyone? Motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Crowley?
Aye.
Commissioner Cronin?
Aye.
Commissioner Matthews?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Doherty?
Aye.
I also say aye. We are adjourned.